Hey guys, welcome to part two of my football conversation with Charlie Mullan. Charlie, I can't believe it, but it's Super Bowl week. It's a matchup that we all predicted before the start of the season. Okay, only diehard LA Ram and Cincinnati Bengal fans could have predicted, but the LA Rams and Cincinnati Bengals are meeting in Super Bowl 56. I'm sure you predicted it the start of the season, right?
Yeah, we all did, didn't we? Yeah, sure, of course we did. Joe Burrow coming back from a serious knee injury. Yeah, we knew he was going to make the Super Bowl. Who didn't? And we all knew that Matt Stafford would just slot into the Rams offense and, you know, finally prove to people that he's good enough to reach the Super Bowl. So yeah, I knew this was going to happen. I was so confident. I put £1,000 on it, and I think the odds of these two teams getting to the Super Bowl were 300 to 1 over here, which I think is that 3,000 plus 3,000 for you guys.
Something like that. Something like that. So you're the guy who won 60 grand on the Bengals making the AFC, winning the AFC?
I couldn't possibly say that.
I'm kidding.
But if it was me, Dylan, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now.
you would be at the Bank of England.
I would indeed.
So obviously in the UK, the Super Bowl is a little different compared to the Super Bowl here because the Super Bowl in your neck of the woods starts at 11:30 when it's prime time here. So could you talk about the Super Bowl in the UK? How big is the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's massive. And just sorry, my odds calculations wasn't very good. It would be plus 30,000 for these two teams to make the Super Bowl, and I think it would be plus 50,000 if the Bengals beat the Rams. So if you had to put bit of money on that, you'd be well off now. The Super Bowl in England is massive. I've been following it from the 1980s when it first came on our TV screens over here. Unfortunately, the late kickoff times meant that I had to listen to it on Armed Forces Radio and Television Network radio service, which wasn't the best. Even more difficult when you had school the next morning. But it's growing year by year. We're getting obviously regular season games in London since 2007. I think there's been 30 so far. Pardon me. So the game as a whole is massive now in England, and the Super Bowl, there's more Super Bowl parties being hosted up and down the country. So despite the time difference, people are now sort of prepared to forego a bit of sleep to watch the final game of the NFL season. And there's also the halftime show for a lot of people to dip into, which probably be about half two in the morning, which I'm looking forward to this year with Eminem and Dr. Dre and Mary J. Blige and the likes. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Snoop, yes, and indeed, yes. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the whole Super Bowl experience. I might get some sleep before the game starts and see it through to the final whistle. And I'm hoping it'll be a very entertaining game. I mean, if it's anything like any of the games in the playoffs this year, boy, are we in for a treat.
So thinking back to your favorite Super Bowl memories, I mean, obviously look at the helmet, you're a huge Dolphin fan. I mean, Miami hasn't been to the Super Bowl in 30.
All right. I don't need reminding.
Hey, my Jags have never been to the Super Bowl. My Jags have never been to the Super Bowl, but
no, that's true.
What are some Super Bowl memories that you have?
Well, my hatred for the 49ers comes from a situation that we're seeing this year with a second-year quarterback making the Super Bowl. And that was when the 49ers beat my Miami Dolphins, Joe Montana and all that, 38-16, I think it was. So my hatred for the San Francisco 49ers began that day. Favorite memories, William the Fred Perry scoring Super Bowl 20. That stands out for me. What else is there? There's been a hell of a lot. It's the 28-3 comeback obviously was a more memorable game. Santonio Holmes' catch in the last second for Pittsburgh against the Cardinals. The big plays you remember more. Obviously, Dylan, you're talking to somebody who watches this in the middle of the night. So by the next morning, you've forgotten half the plays. So I'm quite impressed that I've come up with the ones that I have come up with. But yeah, I enjoy the whole experience, and the closer the games, the better. Obviously, when Tennessee came up 1 yard short, there's another great Super Bowl that came down to the final whistle. I think that's what we all want, isn't it? A Super Bowl that is still undecided, entering the last couple of minutes, 2-minute warning, when it's a one possession game and it could go either way. So hopefully, if we get something like that in a fortnight's time, we'll be happy.
Yeah, I can only dream of what the last 2 minutes would be of my Jags were leading up 7 and the other, and thinking, holy crap, we're 2 minutes from winning the Super Bowl.
You'd find a way of losing it. You'd find a way of losing it. Don't worry about
that. Maybe the Cleveland. You imagine if like the Detroit Lions and Jacksonville Jaguars, two teams that have never played for the Super Bowl, did so.
Well, you look at this year, you look at Cincinnati, anything is possible.
I
know the Rams obviously, what's the word? Bet their future draft picks on reaching the Super Bowl and winning it this year. They don't have a first round draft pick until 2024, I think it is. But the veterans that they've brought in, Von Miller, Odell Beckham Jr., they've certainly added a lot on both sides of the ball. That decision to go all in to win the Super Bowl this year has paid off for the Rams. But you look at the other side of you look at the Bengals, and they're not there just to make up the numbers. Nobody gave them a chance against the Chiefs before the game started. Even less people gave them a chance when they were trailing by 18 points just before halftime, in the second half, I should say. So don't write this Bengals team off. And they've got 2 weeks to come up with a game plan to beat the Rams. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How do you see the game going?
I think it'll be a fascinating game. I can't wait to see this game. But what's interesting more than the game is almost betting on the game, and how people, how much money people will bet on the game in the UK.
A lot. I think all the major betting companies are running special offers, as I'm sure they are in the States now that more and more states are opening up their legislation to allow gambling, online gambling. So I think this is like a one-off for a lot of people. People have texted me asking me for like tipping advice, and my advice to them is what I tell you, back the opposite, and you've got more chance of winning than backing the suggestions that I suggest. But a lot of people sort of look at it and go, it's a one-off. I'll put a few pounds on a few bets here and there. I'm sure it's the same in America with like horse races, like the Kentucky Derby. Some people might bet on that because it's a one-off event for them. It's Super Bowl for people in England and the UK. It's a chance for them just to sort of dip their feet into the NFL betting market and see if it's a market that they can perhaps win from. And there's so many markets to choose from that the possibilities are endless. It's just choosing the right bet, obviously. But yeah, there's a few bets that I think are standing out at this moment in time. Looking at the early markets, the Rams are 4-point underdogs, 4-point favorites, I should say, which I would agree with. They're the home team, which is the second time this has happened in 56 Super Bowls. I think the over-under is currently 48.5. I would go for the over. certainly in that situation. I don't know about you. But there are other markets. I mean, what I like about the Super Bowl is the player props that you have on offer. You look at the playoffs so far, one that stands out for me is Joe Mixon. The over-under for his rushing yards at the moment is 63.5. Now I would go for over on that. What about you, Dylan?
That's interesting because because LA's got a good run defense. I actually think I'd take the under on that. I mean,
Right, okay.
San Francisco only rushed the ball for 50 yards, and Kyle Shannon's got a great rushing attack on most occasions. But LA's been formidable on the ground, and generally, if Cincinnati's winning, it's going to be with Joe Burrow. I think I actually take the under on that.
Right. Interesting. Okay, I've got three more here that we can go head to head on. The over-under for Matthew Stafford is 278.5 passing yards. I'm going over on that. What says you?
Thinking 278.5. I mean, in LA, I'd see it. I'd probably lean over. I mean, if this game turns with it being in LA, no weather concerns, fast track, I think I think Stafford could put up 280.
Yep, so we're both going on that. Cooper Cup over 105.5. That's what I'm going for. The guy is just phenomenal. So that's what I'm going for. Over 105.5 receiving yards for Cooper Cup. What do you think? Over or under?
I don't think I don't. Be honest, I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised you're getting that good of more because I was seeing much higher lines. I was seeing much higher numbers, but to me, if LA wins this game, it's probably gonna be Cooper Cup. I mean, he's averaging over 100 yards a game. I mean, if you said, I mean, would it surprise you if he went like 8 for 110 and a touchdown?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. If that did happen, I'd be very disappointed actually. 8 for 110. I would expect him to have 150, to be honest.
He got 10 for what? What he got 140 something yards last Sunday night. Well, last time against the Niners.
Yeah, I think so. I think the remarkable thing about Cooper Cup is the yards after the catch. You know, he can take a slant pass and turn it into a 40-yard gain in the blink of an eye. So, yeah, I think he's got the capabilities of torching the Bengals secondary. I think he's going to have a big game. And the other one that stands out for me, I don't know if these figures are different to what you see with your American betting sites, but Odell Beckham Jr. over 5.5 catches. I'm going over for that, definitely.
That's interesting. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, 5.5 catches. I mean, it seems like Odell Beckham and Matthew Stafford have gotten some kind of chemistry lately. Seems like Odell is fitting in nicely with the Rams, way better than he was in Cleveland. I mean, Beckham got 9 catches. If you told me Odell Beckham got 11 targets again, I think he would get a lot of. I think he'll get a lot of carries. I'm just looking up here to see how many catches he got 6 catches against Tampa, 9 against the Niners, and I would not be surprised if he got. I mean, you said 5.5. I think I'd probably take the over in that situation.
Yeah. So it's only the Joe Mixon one that we're split on, but well, time will tell. But I've been doing a little bit of research as well, and I was looking at possible records that could fall in the Super Bowl. And staying on the subject of Cooper Cup, the receiving yards record in the Super Bowl. Dylan, do you know what that is?
Jerry Rice, Super Bowl 23 against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it was 213 receiving yards.
Oh, 215. Unlucky.
Dang it.
That's incredible memory. That is. Well done. So
I knew it was against the. Well, I knew it was Super Bowl 23 against the Bengals.
Yeah, he's MVP in that, wasn't he? Super Bowl MVP.
Montana didn't win.
Sorry?
Only MVP Montana didn't win.
That's correct. Yep. Now you're probably thinking 215 yards, Cooper Cup. No chance. I have to point out to you, obviously living in England at this moment in time, Cooper Cup holds the record for the receiving yards in an NFL London game with 220 yards. So he has done it before in London. So why can't he do it in LA? So that could be a Super Bowl record that falls in 10 days' time. Another one
was that at Wembley or Twickenham?
Wembley. I was actually at that game, and I unfortunately got into the media center just as his press conference was ending, but Jared Goff was next up, and I got to ask him about the record, and he didn't see that record breaking in NFL London game for quite a while. In fact, he was actually hoping to break the all-time NFL receiving record, which I think is 275, 280 yards. But unfortunately, he fell a little bit short on that. But yeah, he's capable of doing it, and a couple of big runs, a couple of big catches, and you never know. But that's one. Another bet that I'm not sure what you think about this. The record for the most sacks in a Super Bowl. Who holds that record?
How many?
You were probably minus 15 years old.
How is it as a player or team?
No, player.
If you tell me what stadium it took place in, I'd probably give you the name.
I haven't got the stadium written down, but it was Super Bowl X.
Oh man, that would have been Super Bowl X. That would have been Steelers Cowboys in Miami.
Wow, you're good. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Randy White.
No. Other team.
Oh, let me see. LC Greenwood?
Correct. No. Yes, correct. Well done. I am very impressed with that. Very impressed. Yeah, he had 4 sacks on the day. Do you think Aaron Donald could have 4 sacks against a Bengals offensive line that gave up 9 sacks against the Tennessee Titans?
Well, Cincinnati did very well against Kansas City.
Well, he did. He did.
Although I think Burrow escaped a few of those sacks. How he got out of those sacks is beyond me.
Yeah, the one Frank Clark, was it? Or
and Chris Jones
twice. Chris Jones, yeah. That was incredible, especially the second move where he actually skipped out of his grasp. He looked down and he saw the arms were just about to tackle him, so he kicked his way out of it. That was sensational. And he ran for the first down as well, maybe, did he? He got out of bounds anyway for a good gain. So yeah, Aaron Donald, 4 sacks, possibly. We saw how Aaron Donald was so destructive last weekend that anything's possible. And I'd say he'd fancy his chances of setting a new record in the Super Bowl. So that's another record that could fall. And you mentioned him earlier, pardon me, McPherson. The record for the most field goals. Do you know what that is, Dylan?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of a field goal festival.
You would have been minus 25, I think, for this.
How far back do I have to go?
1968, I think. Second Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't even know who the Packers kicker was that day.
Don Chandler. But it's also happened a second time since, well, yeah, since then.
Now you got me. Now I didn't think I'd be looking up, like thinking about field goals and Super Bowls. Okay, how far back is the more recent one?
Super Bowl 16.
Super Bowl 16. That would, oh gosh. That'd be 49ers Bengals in the Pontiac Silverdome.
Wow, your memory is amazing.
I don't even know who the kickers were in that game.
San Francisco's Ray Wershing. The record is 4 field goals. Now, as you well know, Bengals have kicked 4 field goals in each of their playoff games. I think I'm right in saying that.
Yep.
Is that right? 4 in each of them. So yeah, he only needs another one. The rookie with the incredible leg and the cockiness as well. I loved what he said after the kick to win the divisional round, when he says, well, I guess we're off to the AFC Championship game. That was before he even kicked it. I do like that.
And after when he kicked it, it's like that one looks good. Like that one looks like a kick should be.
Yeah.
And that was a 52-yarder, and literally you could not kick a ball better than that. That looks like
no. So there's a few bets and a few records that could fall.
Oh, I've got a trivia question for you.
Go on.
This is actually involving your Miami Dolphins. I'm going to test your memory.
Oh God.
There was a famous number 13 who was Super Bowl MVP for your Miami Dolphins, but it was not Dan Marino.
No, Jack Scott.
Yeah, that was too easy.
No, I just know a lot about my team. Come on. You must be impressed with that.
Yeah, then who was MVP the next year?
That was for the Dolphins.
Yeah, who was MVP for your Dolphins the next year?
Yeah, Larry Zonka.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Okay, so who do you think wins the Super Bowl?
I think the Rams just edge it. I want the Bengals to win, but I think the Rams will win. I think a lot of those players were obviously there a few years ago when they lost. The coach was there when they lost. So they've got the experience. They're playing in their home stadium, which counts for a hell of a lot. Listen, Joe Burrow is a fantastic story. He's proved already that there's no game big enough that's going to disrupt him from the way he plays. So it wouldn't surprise me if he played another near perfect performance, whether he is given the protection to stay in the pocket or to make the key plays. He's got the running game that will help him as well. But I just think the Rams will probably just edge it. I think McVay, his experience of coaching the Super Bowl, he said he was out-coached and outplayed the last time when he was there. He'll have learned from that. And I think probably from the morning after that Super Bowl loss, he'll have been working on a game plan that if he did get back to the Super Bowl, these are the things that I would do differently to win. So I think the Rams, but I do want the Bengals to win. What about you?
To be honest, I think it's a extremely competitive Super Bowl, but I think LA wins the game. Yeah, I think you've got two similar quarterbacks. You've got two quarterbacks who aren't going to be afraid of mistakes, who will throw the ball down the field. But in the end, I think the Rams are better on the offensive and defensive lines. I think LA's got a better offensive line, and I'm not sure if Cincinnati can protect Aaron Donald and Von Miller for 60 minutes.
No.
And plus, I think Jalen Ramsey can sort of keep Jamal Chase in check, but I'm not sure how the Bengals are going to match up against Cooper Kupp.
No, I agree with that. It's it could come down. It's a toss of a coin, really, isn't it, as to who wins this? And I don't mean overtime, which has been very controversial.
I'm sure Bills fans are loving that coin toss now.
Yeah, well, they're the rules. Everybody knows the rules. So, if it's a good game, and I hope
City last time against Cincinnati, you got the coin toss and Mahomes threw an interception.
Exactly. So I think if it does go to overtime, call tails, not heads, because heads doesn't win. Tails never fails.
And then the Bengals and then the Rams called tails and it's heads, and Joe Burrow's throwing the touchdown pass to T. Higgins.
Exactly. But I just hope it's a good, exciting game. It better be, because I'll be staying up, losing a lot of sleep. So I like my sleep, and the game better be worth it.
Otherwise you'll have a bunch of cranky people in the UK.
Correct. But the Super Bowls have been quite entertaining the last few years. So yeah, there's no reason why this one shouldn't be.
Yeah, much different Super Bowl, because I'm confused. There's no Tom Brady, there's no Peyton Manning, there's no Ben Roethlisberger, there's no Patrick Mahomes, there's no Aaron Rodgers, there's Matt Stafford and Joe Burrow.
Yeah, well, I'm pleased about that. We can get too comfortable with having Tom Brady there all the time, and Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes or somebody like that. I think it's time for new blood to come in and entertain us during the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, obviously now he's retired. He's finally announced it today after everybody else announced it for him. It was getting a bit tiresome seeing him in a Super Bowl. Fair play to him for the achievements of getting there year after year and winning 7 Super Bowl rings. But the league's moving on now, and Matt Stafford, what a story that is. Couldn't do anything in a disappointing Detroit team for many, many years. Comes to Los Angeles and is in the Super Bowl in his first year. So there's just so many fascinating stories. Joe Burrow story, the Matthew Stafford story, the Odell Beckham story, Von Miller story, Super Bowl MVP not so long ago. He's back in the Super Bowl now. Zach Taylor should have been fired last season. Team stuck with him.
And Zach Taylor was quarterback coach for the Rams.
Yes, he was.
Yes. So it's a little bit of familiarity.
Yes. So there's just so many stories happening all over the place, and obviously the rookie kicker for the Bengals as well, McPherson, could be a dream day for him, dream night for him. Listen, the game has been played in Los Angeles, the home of Hollywood. There's going to be a star at the end of the game, and there's so many storylines just waiting to be written.
Does that mean the Lombardi win? That mean the Super Bowl MVP gets its own Hollywood stall on the Walk of Fame?
Possibly, yeah.
You imagine. Let me find Tyler Boyd next to Tom Cruise on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah. Why not? And the record, actually, by the way, I think this is the 13th Super Bowl in California. the NFC has won 7 of the 12. So I'm not saying that's, it's not an outstanding stat, but 7-5 in the NFC's favor.
So thanks for hopping on, Charlie, for our conversations, and we wish you Super Bowl bets well, and hopefully the lack of sleep Super Bowl Sunday is worth it.
So do I. Thank you, Dylan.